Hi, it's Scott, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review. Going to talk about the 1971 film, The Andromeda Strain, in its new 4K edition from Arrow Video. This was a favorite growing up. I was very young when it came out, but as I got older, I watched it over, and every time it came on, it was just one of those movies for me. And I know a lot of people it wasn't, but man, this was one of those first science fiction movies that really blew my mind. If you don't know much about the Andromeda Strain, it was a book written by Michael Crichton. He was going to medical school and writing novels, and the medical school frowned on writing novels, so he wrote novels under a couple of assumed names, and still was finishing his medical degree. They didn't think he could do that. How smart the dude was. He was a very tall dude. He was a very smart dude. A lot of people call him one of the smartest people they ever met outside of scholars and that kind of thing, but he really was. So anyway, Andromeda Strain was the first novel he wrote under his real name, his sixth novel, but a first one under Michael Crichton, and it got picked up to be made into a movie, which kind of shocked him. And there's some great extras on the Arrow special edition for this and Westworld that interview him talking about how these movies got made from his books and what he was doing early in his career. I highly recommend these if you're into films. Now, Andromeda Strain is a tale of a U.S. research satellite came back to Earth carrying a deadly extraterrestrial microscopic organism that wipes out a small town in Arizona. We get into the investigation of it. It's a 2-hour and 10-minute film that takes you through every step of the procedural, how they figure it out, how they find out how bad it is, how they learn more about it. It's very interesting. It to this day, watching it now, it really holds up for me. The way the story is told as a procedural, and how they walk you through this wildfire facility they have to contain this type of thing so they could do research on it. The movie sits at 67% on Rotten Tomatoes. Ebert gave it 3 out of 4. IMDb is 7 out of 10. So it's considered a great film, but Arrow released it in 4K, and I've been holding off because I just didn't know how great it would look. It does look. It still has a mono soundtrack, which is very clear and sounds great, by the way. But the picture looks amazing. Anyway. It's a great story of 4 scientists trying to figure out, there's a little bit with government bureaucracy and things like that. And the whole movie plays out as like it's a real thing. Like from the beginning, they tell you not much has been edited here. This is going to be made public soon. And it just kind of ends with a end report. Boop, and it puts up the names of the people who are in the movie, and that's it. The movie just ends. There's some great extras on the Arrow 4K where you learn a lot more about the making of the film, what went into it, whatever. But they did consult virologists and scientists about a couple people in the town survived the thing, and so they have to investigate them as well. They have to investigate the bug itself. What is it? Can it replicate? Is it getting worse? Can we cure it? Is it a plane eventually crashes? There's some really interesting stuff, but there's not a whole lot of action in the film, yet the whole movie is tension and action, if that makes any sense. There's no ray guns or people running down hallways until towards the end when we have a race against time before the entire building explodes, the entire facility. But the movie really holds up today. Some of the technology is a little older, but they don't really go in on that. Everything that happens in the film would probably be about how things do today. We would probably have more people on staff than just the 4, but they were trying to keep this top secret. And it's like the whole movie was done kind of like a documentary. It was directed by Robert Wise, who's directed some really great science fiction movies, everything from the first Star Trek to The Day the Earth Stood Still. Love him as a director, and he did a great job making this feel like it's a documentary, that you are kind of witness to how all this went out. It's the last 3 or 4 days of this event. And that's how the movie plays out. I think the Arrow 4K is the best it's ever going to look. You get a lot of great extras on it. It's currently on sale on Amazon for under $20. A lot of extras. Really impressed with the presentation. You get the old artwork, which is kind of scary and creepy, and then you get this new artwork, which is really newfangled and cool looking. Kudos to Arrow for saving some of these great movies. It's a great version of Andromeda Strain, and it's a movie that I highly recommend. I give it a 4.5, maybe even a 5 out of 5. It's just that well done. It still holds up in 2026. So check it out if you're so inclined, and I highly recommend the Arrow 4K edition that's on sale right now. Scott, I'm ROCKFILE. There are remakes of this. Maybe read the book. The remake just didn't capture what was chilling about this original version of the film. It's funny that some of the humans are what is really the problem when it gets down to problems that happen in the film. It's not so much the fault of an alien extraterrestrial virus or anything like that, and I find that very fascinating as well. The human story is just as entertaining as the science story that's going on here. Andromeda Strain from 1971. It's kind of a 1-2 punch with 2001 on science fiction that really hit home and being real, grounded, and this kind of led to more movies like this in the 70s, like Phase 4. So anyway, I really like Andromeda Strain. It's an all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite films ever made. So pick up the Arrow Special Edition if you're so inclined. I'm Scott. I'm ROCKFILE. More podcasts are on the way. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a spectacular day.